Hello, and thank you for joining the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the program, House of Representatives frowns at diversion of Nigerian-bound flights to neighboring countries, pledges to enact law to ensure compensation for passengers, and later on the show, Boko Haram hit Chibok again, set many houses ablaze as bandits invade Niger State communities, steal cattle, and kidnap residents. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Mojit Jamil. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for joining us again. Most times, it takes disasters to expose our inadequacies as a country. The adverse weather causing a blanket of haze over the land is forcing Nigerian-bound flights to divert to airports in neighboring countries due to alleged weak landing equipment. Members of the House of Representatives are not happy with this. They have pledged to enact law that will ensure compensation of passengers affected with such diversions. Let's share the story with you.
Diversion of international flights from Nigeria's airports is common during the Harmattan season and when there are inclement weather conditions. The absence of modern landing equipment is responsible for this ugly scenario, and these lawmakers are not happy about it. Wale Raji from Lagos State comes with a motion of urgent national importance on the need for the federal government to complete the installation of modern landing equipment across the nation's airports. He notes that 7.8 billion naira has been voted for the first phase of the project, but worries passengers are now being dumped at neighboring airports to find their way back to Nigeria.
Recent reports in the media also indicated that the Category 3 ILS instrument is not functioning at its optimal capacity because of the non-availability of other supportive equipment like the runway and approach lights yet to be installed and upgraded by Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria funds.
His colleagues frown at a situation where passengers' rights are abused at will. They call for the enactment of a law that will protect air passengers.
So embarrassing that we find ourselves in this situation in this country, a situation where taxpayers' money have been used to buy equipment, and for the negligence of workers at those agencies, those equipments are not working or have not been fully installed.
And the aircraft, instead of landing in Lagos, went to Accra to land. It is responsibility of the airline to take care of the passengers.
Airplanes are designed to fly for 24 hours. But in Nigeria, you find out that our planes only fly from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Aside Abuja Airport or Lagos Airport, you find out that most planes can't fly in the evening.
The lawmakers also expressed concern about lack of cooperation and synergy among aviation agencies and resolved to interface with them going forward.
All right, welcome back. Julie, tell us about this alleged weak landing equipment, because throughout last week we were inundated with stories that international planes that were coming from international routes, they landed in Ghana and they were asked to, the passengers were stranded, and some are still stranded till now.
Yeah, we have instrument landing system at the airports. I've heard people say we do not have instrument landing system. We have, but the instrument landing system has to be calibrated from time to time, and based on time and requirements. Now, if the airlines, the foreign airlines, are not convinced that the instrument landing systems are well calibrated, they will not endanger their passengers to come and land here. The truth is, yes, the weather is bad, but because of the defective equipment that we have, pilots of a lot of those foreign airlines, Delta, Emirates, BA, they are not prepared to take that risk. This is what is happening. My wife was supposed to travel on Saturday to Dubai. We got to the airport. I dropped her, and I was racing back home. By the time I got to Maryland, she called me that I should come back to pick her. I said, why? She said that they've been told that Emirates will not fly for that. Yes, will not be coming. You won't even see them, you know. So from Abuja and from Lagos, on Saturday, Emirates did not show up. The airline did not show up. The truth is, the instrument landing systems that we have are old. Maybe now they are working on replacing them, because I had the minister make that kind of promise that people should be patient with them, people should bear with them. Maybe they are making moves. There are situations when you really cannot fly. Pilots are not advised to land or even take off when they can't see up to 800 meters from their cockpits. They are not advised to take off. That means the weather is extremely bad. You must see at least 800 meters.
800 meters?
Yes, you must see that. Yes, but if you...
From your cockpit?
Yes, if you can't see 800 meters from where you are sat in the aircraft, then it means the weather is very bad.
Extremely bad.
But that is not the problem. The problem is with the equipment. The problem is with the equipment. Most Nigerians, when they travel at night in the Lagos, in the country, you will notice that the aircraft will go and land at the international wing and begin to taxi to the domestic wing.
Yes.
If you fly at night.
What is responsible?
Because the local the local
control tower.
What is it called? The local wing.
Okay.
Is not equipped to the point that pilots can feel safe that they can land. In daytime they land there, but at night, no, they will not land there. In fact, one pilot told us, because when we noticed that the taxiing was so long, he now apologized. He said, see, when you are on top of the local wing, the lights look like Christmas lights. I'm quoting his exact words, that the lights at the local wing look like Christmas lights, and that no pilot in his right senses, seeing that the place is not well lit, would want to land there. There are so many things that we take for granted in Nigeria. The airport in Abuja has only one runway. So if anything happens to that runway in Abuja necessitating repairs, it means we will shut it down the way we shut it down the last time. No serious country behaves like this.
Now we should be talking about another one.
They should be building another one. But I'm sure that
waiting for this one.
The bill that they will bring will scare people. So that's why he's able to even bring the bill. It's a problem.
Mujid, in all this, yes, Emirates cancelled a lot of flights, even from Dubai, because of weather and everything. But there are some certain things that we expect that neighboring countries with aviation equipment that they can boast of, that anytime it comes to Nigeria, there's always this Niger factor.
We are giant of Africa, and probably by mouth alone.
By mouth.
And breaking it further down, it's like you have a telephone, you have 2G, you have 3G, you have 4G. The speed at which you download data on 4G will be faster than the speed
3G.
Than 3G
or
2G. So, like Jide said, we have obsolete equipment. I think Jide is just trying to pamper them. We have obsolete equipment that needed to be upgraded. And this is something you don't buy off the shelf. You need to prepare to buy it. You need to, it takes time. And also looking at the approval process here, I expect that the minister or those in the aviation industry, Hadi Sirika and Amechi, the two of them ought to have put heads together. Harmattan is something
they've separated them. Don't bring those that
the other time
God has put asunder.
Now,
now put together.
Now, Hadi Sirika, I think we should.
Other parastatal under the Ministry of Aviation.
Yes.
NCAA,
No, they are not together.
The minister calls the shots.
Yes.
So we should put this blame on the head of the minister, because
is the one apologizing now?
Yes, because the buck stops on his table. It's not Buhari that will come and think that there is one equipment that needed to be upgraded. And thank God he's also a pilot. So he understands what we're talking about. And Harmattan is not something that just coming now. It's seasonal, and these things happen over the years. But this year, we have to prepare for it. And even with weather forecasts, 3 months, 4 months, we know the level of the Harmattan haze you are expecting.
It's just like the Android phones that we use.
Yes.
Anytime we just say software is about to be upgraded.
Yes. So if you don't upgrade your obsolete equipment, you see situations where you can't blame these airlines that dump us in Ghana. Some people ask, why not dump us why not drop the passengers in Abuja? It is as bad as the ones in Lagos.
Yes.
Now, we'll wait till that.
Okay, the same landing system. They have the same faults.
Same thing. It's the same 2G. So to say, quote and unquote. That's the way I will put it. I mean, for the layman to understand what you ought to have upgraded to 4G. Now, very soon, some countries are going to 5G.
Already,
and you see, that is the kind of problem we have when we have people who cares less. And I mean, you come and be apologizing. Now, who pays for some people? You can imagine somebody coming from London. He's supposed to be in Lagos. They dumped him in Ghana. And you have already zeroed your mind that, I mean, you are coming to Lagos. Then they go to Ghana. Some people spend 2 days. They don't even have anything. Some of them had to come to Lagos by road.
Yes.
It's as bad as that.
Not that they check them in an hotel.
No, because the airlines are not liable in this instance. Yes, because it is not their fault.
They are not going to take the risk.
They are not liable. It is not their fault. If they are not cleared for landing.
Emirates from Dubai to Lagos, and the Emirates is dropping in Ghana.
See, you have the AY. You have the option of you want to download data. If you like, go and subscribe to 2G. It will take you 5 hours to download the same data that I will download in probably 5 seconds using my 4G. So it's the same thing. You can't hold any. So it is our fault.
You can't force them to endanger their lives.
Yes, you can't. So it is not the fault of the airlines. So nobody should blame. In fact, they even have the courtesy of apologizing to the passengers. So I mean, we need to tell ourselves the truth. It is not their fault.
Until the weather improves,
it is not their fault that we subscribe to low quality. Yes.
Okay, Jide, but on the flip side of it, there was a time that we had a lot of accidents in the aviation sector and everything. That was this season. But in the last few years now, these people, don't you think we need to give up NCAA? In the last few years, we've not had any major plane mishap and everything. So overall, this weather is just a natural phenomenon in which we are not prepared for.
No, see, stop saying it's the weather. It's the equipment. It's misleading to continue to talk. Planes land in far more adverse weather than we are experiencing. Nigeria is not snowing now. It's not snowing. Look, planes can land in very cold weather as long as you keep the cabin warm. There is no problem. If it is now sub 67 Fahrenheit, you know that you don't try it. But that's not the situation that we are facing. It's not the situation that we are facing. The situation that we are facing is caused by obsolete equipment. You see, the airlines know And when this thing is calibrated, they will be able to determine the level at which it is. If they are not convinced that that level is safe enough, of course, military aircraft, they will land, even in that dimly lit local wing, they will land. But we are talking about airlines, international airlines with solid pedigree and all that. They won't come to Nigeria to endanger the lives of their passengers. And if something happens, people will question why they had to take the plunge. Why did they take that risk? One of the National Assembly members was saying that even the pilots here in our country, they are taking risk, landing without the right equipment. This is the thing. It's a shameful thing. But we must give NCA credit because, look, they've taken precautions that are helping us to avoid those mishaps. In the past, someone could have just one airplane and he will be using that airplane
to run the whole route.
So now you can't do commercial airline business if you are down to 1 or 2 planes. They won't allow you.
Really?
And they are very strict. They are very strict on the C check that you do. When you go to do the C check, an NCA official, if you go to do it in France or anywhere, an NCA official will accompany you. Now, after that C check, you then fly the plane empty. You fly it empty to Johannesburg and back.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a stringent.
That is why this is a very expensive line of business. You then fly empty to Johannesburg.
Come back.
Empty, but of course the SC official will accompany you. What I mean is that you will not carry any passenger.
Yeah.
You will fly
to endanger
empty,
them.
yes, to test the SC check, the C check. I mean the C check that you have done. And you know the C check.
So it's just the C check is just the general servicing as the elementary one.
Yes, it's the complete check of the aircraft to know whether there's any problem, and then you can come back. Even the jets of the presidential fleet, they are also subject to C check. They also go. There was a time that one of them was in France, because I was on one platform where I could see all the foreign, all the airplanes that are doing C check at any time or another. So I saw that one of the Nigerian the planes of the presidential fleet was doing C check, and you will know when the C check will end and all that, so you can track, you know. So this is the thing. With that one, you are saying that, look, if you have not got the money, don't get involved in
aviation business.
Yes, because in that business you can't afford to cut corners. If you cut corners, you will endanger people's lives. So generally, we are more in terms of the inspection and all that. They are really doing very well. And we thank God. There have been near mishaps.
And safety conscious.
There have been near mishaps.
Yes, over time.
Yes, but God has spared our lives. That it's not happening like it happened
2006 or so.
Yes, between 2 years we had 2 or 3, and no serious crash has happened.
Now we can rush and we can start looking for the equipment, how to upgrade, and attention must be paid into that critical sector.
Yeah, you know, we wait till things get to a critical level where they will now take the fight to the president to quickly approve whatever they want. And by the time they bring this equipment, you will discover that the price will be probably 4 times the normal thing. They will say because they have to rush to buy this thing. But let them, you see, if we plan very well, these kind of things will not be happening to us, where Nigerians will suffer, needlessly. Because like Jide said, we have equipment that can enable you land under very, very severe conditions. Now, it's like you trying to use your phone or your normal camera to take X-ray stuff. It won't. There are machines, there are equipment that are conditioned to take X-rays, to scan barcodes, So also is what we have in the so no matter the level of Harmattan, is it only in Nigeria that we have Harmattan is? They are even worse. I mean, okay, why is it that they are able to land in Ghana or Togo
or Benin?
So what are we talking about? So it behoves on the management of our aviation industry, from the minister down to the others and the other aviators, to ensure that they provide the necessary equipment so that they don't put Nigerians through this kind of mess, through kind of agony. I mean, can you imagine somebody?
The airlines are telling them, well, you either travel by road or we'll take you back to London.
Back to London, yes.
Take you back to London?
Yes.
That's the option.
That's the option.
Travel from Ghana.
What they told them was, look, let's wait. We'll wait for 2 days. After 2 days, we'll go to Nigeria if the weather improves. Now, nobody can legislate on that. We are not God. The weather
so they must stay in that airport for 2 days.
The weather can choose to not improve. So when they saw that the weather did not improve and they were not prepared to endanger lives, they then decided that, okay, this aircraft is going back to London. It's extremely expensive. Parking fees at the airports are extremely, extremely high. That's why you see the plane lands today, that same day is gone.
Yeah.
So they will not want to stay in Accra for 2 days.
Longer than necessary.
And waste money.
To stop business.
When they can return to that. So they say, well, you either stay here, or you either go back to your country by road, or we take you back to London. So some of them they were now forced
to come into
about 1,500 passengers stranded. And it's not the first time that people will be going to Accra. These airlines, there was a time they were going to Accra to buy aviation fuel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
When actually we should have more aviation fuel than Ghana.
In
because
Nigeria.
we are a big
oil producing country.
So they were going. And then you find that it's more expensive. Flight tickets are more expensive in Nigeria than in Ghana. When our lawmakers wanted to force them to crash this thing, they refused. BA said no, that they were not going to do that. They said, elsewhere, exchange rate is stable. In your country, exchange rate is not stable. Yeah. So you cannot force us to charge you the same thing as we charge the Ghanaians.
All right. Still to come, Boko Haram hits Chibok again, set many houses on fire as bandits invade Niger State communities. Thank you for joining us again. This is Journalist Hangout for the uptime time. Chibok is under the spotlight again. Boko Haram fighters attacked the town where they killed many people and set several houses on fire. In another sad tale, armed bandits numbering about 60 invaded some communities in Rafi local government area in Niger State, leaving the trail human and material casualties. They stole cattle and kidnapped many residents. As we observe the second anniversary of the abduction of the Dapchi schoolgirls, President Muhammadu Buhari pledged to ensure the release of Leah Sharibu, the remaining abducted Dapchi girl. Now, let's give you the comment by some Hausa boys in reply to the Shekau video.
Wannan bayani da zan yi mai da martani ne ma Shekau 2019. Shekau ya yi bayani akan cewa shi a shirye yake ya aiwatar da duk wani abun da bayi da kyau. Mu kuma mazauna garin biyu ne matasa 'yan gora civilian JTF kenan, muna da vigilantes wato 'yan baka, mu ga sojojinmu ga 'yan hisba duk sun fito, muna wannan jeji mun fito muna aiki ne sa'annan muna neman su. Shekau bayani da zan yi maka rannan kayi wani magana akan shugaba Buhari. To shugaba Buhari ya fi karfinka, ya wuce inda kake tunani. Shugaba Buhari ba mutumi ne da wanda za ka yi wasa da shi ba. sannan idan kana cin ƙasa to ka kiyayi ta shuri. Shugaba Buhari ya fi ƙarfinka. Shugaba Buhari ya fi ƙarfinka. Shugaba Buhari ya wuce wasa. Shekau mun fito yau muna neman ka. Idan kana ji ka fito. Idan kana ji ka fito. Idan ka shirya shekau ka fito mu mun shirya. Idan ka shirya wa mutuwa mu jiranta muke yi. Idan kana ji ka shirya dan Allah shekau ka fito. Shekau wallahi in ka fito zan yanka ka. Wallahi zan yanka ka. Wallahi zan yanka ka. Wallahi shekau zan yanka ka da hannuna zan yanka ka. Wallahi shekau da hannuna zan yanka ka. Ka fito. Kana ji kana da rundunan ka na banza masu tsoron karan bindiga. Masu tsoron karan bindiga. Mu ba ma tsoron karan bindiga. Idan ka shirya mu mun shirya mu haɗu a daga. Salamu alaikum.
I think this the reaction of the civilian JTF guys to the Shekau's latest video.
Babajide. Shekau was full of insults. He targeted the Chief of Army Staff. He even spoke in the language of the Chief of Army Staff, and he then moved on to the president. The president was actually the person that he wanted to abuse. The insults were too much. You know, when a man directs insult at you, bearing your tribe in mind. So he has not insulted you alone, he has insulted everyone who belongs to your tribe. That's what he said. He knew that Buhari is a Fulani man. And he was saying that Buhari worships cattle. How can you go to that extent? Even Suleimani didn't go to this extent before Trump ordered his guys to kill him. So the insults, even ridiculing the president's rank as a major general, you know, and he's saying, look, me a small boy, I'm harassing you, you have no peace, this and that. And you see, the painful thing is every time Shekau talks, he refers to his religion, that is practicing Islam the way he's supposed to practice it, you know. But I have friends who are Muslims. This person is one. I've never heard that Islam directed that you should be slaughtering people for fun. Well, that's what Shekau is doing. If he's saying the president is worshipping cattle, he is worshipping blood. Well, that's what he's doing.
I doubt his sanity most of the time when he's talking. I don't know when he's talking.
If you are saying that you hate the West,
people like that, I think.
They take a lot of drugs. Look at there was a time that a trailer loaded with tramadol going to Sambisa Forest was intercepted. You can't easily be slaughtering people like goats if you are not under the influence of some drugs. Even when this guy, Kabiru Sokoto, who was the architect of the Christmas Day bombing, when he was arrested in a town called Mutumbiu in Taraba State, that was where he was hiding inside a wardrobe. All these guys are cowards. They can kill people, but when they see death, you see that they turn to jelly. So they caught him inside the wardrobe. There were drugs there that he was consuming. He also had aphrodisiac with him, you know, because everywhere they go, they like to capture women so that they can minister to the women, if I can use that word. So he had aphrodisiac with him. He had drugs. There is no way you can do what these guys do without being under the influence of one form of terrible drug or another. But it's a good thing that those guys responded to him, although I don't think the kind of weapons that they have.
I saw those guns.
They can stand people who use
RPG.
So, but of course, the truth is many of the Boko Haram guys fear civilian JTF more than they flee as soldiers. Why? Because they think civilian JTF, they use juju. Of course, a lot of the hunters use juju. So when they see them, they are usually scared of them. but it's still, it will be advisable that if they want to go and confront Shekau, that they must have military backing and all that. Otherwise, it will, what happened in
their Waterloo.
They killed the leader of the civilian JTF in Gubio when the people decided to face the invaders. They just didn't have the weapons to turn the table against Boko Haram.
MJ, let's talk about Chibok again, under the spotlight again. Was attacked by armed bandits.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that that happened again yesterday. I mean, around, from reports we gathered, around 6 p.m., Kibaku community, a few kilometers from Chibok,
Kwarangulum.
and Kwarangulum, the soldiers had to send reinforcement from Chibok to that place, while those in those two villages had to take shelter in Chibok. I think what these insurgents do is to continue to create fear. Once in a while they strike, especially when they need to replenish their stock in terms of food and, I mean, look at the trails and drugs. Look at the trade they leave behind. I mean, they'll raise homes, cart away, cattle, livestock, just like also what we had in Niger. So they also need, I mean, they don't walk. The only thing they do is drug and plan to unleash all those localized attacks, and they run back into the bush to go and keep eating their loot, and also strategize for another ambush or another major attack. When and I think by now, with our good intelligence gathering, well, the military, they are trying, but I think they have been stretched. But like we said earlier on this program, until we have those Tucano light crafts when it comes, which I mean, it has the capacity to actually go and on a surveillance mission and an intelligent mission to go right to where they are, because Sambisa is such a very vast area of land, and these guys understand the terrain very much. I mean, there was a time the Nigerian army celebrated that they have conquered Sambisa. That, I mean, where they went to where they had their flags, I mean, the Boko Haram flags, and they displayed some of these things. But the place is so massive that it's like like the size of the whole of the Southwest. So
it is 6.5% of Nigerian land space.
Yeah. So if you conquer some of them in somewhere like Ondo State, for example, I mean, they can relocate to Osun or Kwara. So that's why they also cowards. Like you can see, they will attack and retreat. But if we have good backing for the civilian JTF, who also understand those areas, because they are locals, I think we could be, but nowhere in the world where you defeat terrorism outrightly, but with better equipment and better planning and intelligence gathering, like the kind of sting operation the U.S. did on Soleimani in Iran. Yeah. So, but do we have the kind of resources to execute that? I mean,
Babajide, let's talk about Leah Sharibu. She's been there now for 2 years. President Buhari promised that he will bring her back, and the Christian community had appealed severally for this girl and on behalf of this girl. And even like 2 months ago, we got an unconfirmed report that she might have even put to bed. She had even put to bed. We don't know how true. At the point in time, they told us that she's not even, they don't even know if she's still alive. But this particular girl, marks the interest of this Dapchi girl's abduction that happened 2 years ago?
Yes, it's exactly 2 years since that unfortunate episode. And I still find it difficult to believe that they could carry out such an operation after what happened in Chibok. And they succeeded, because to move from that place to the Lake Chad area, where the Albanawi faction has its base, will take hours.
Several kilometers.
You take hours, you know.
Convoys.
To move from Dapchi in Yobe State, all the way pass through many Nigerian communities. They went past the Gaydam River. They crossed the Gaydam River, according to one of the guests, and then ended up in the Lake Chad area. It's a long distance, a very long distance. So how they went from Dapchi to that place undetected, and we couldn't make any move to rescue those guests, is still something that I find difficult to believe. But the good thing, we were able to negotiate, and on their terms, they brought the guests back. They said they didn't want to see any soldier manning any checkpoint. We agreed. They brought the guests back, but this Leah Sharibu was not one of the guests, reportedly because she said she would not convert to Islam. I'm sure it must have come to the government and the negotiators as a surprise, because they would have been expecting that all of those guests would be brought back in one piece. But Leah Sharibu was not brought back. Some of the guests died as a result of stampede.
I'm not sure she was mentioned during negotiation.
No, what I'm saying is, it's possible that the government did not know that they would not, because you are not going to do head count now, because they don't want to see you. All they agreed is we'll deliver these guests to the town where we pick them up. They did not know that this girl would not be among the guests that they will return. It was after they got to Dapchi that we then discovered that about 5 of them were trampled upon during the stampede that happened when they were coming down from the trucks that brought them. You know, out of panic, some of them landed on, and some of the guests died, because these are small guests, you know, 11 to 14, you know, small girls at the time. Even this girl was 14 at the time she was taken away. Wow. So I don't think the negotiators knew that this was going to happen, because the mission was to ensure that everybody was brought back. But they refused to release her, and I know that government had made moves too, but these guys are just they stopped negotiating with government at a point on this matter. But the president is assuring that they will bring her back. He has made this assurance many times, so we can only hope that this time around that it will succeed. And don't forget, we still have more than 80 Chibok girls in custody of Boko Haram.
After many years.
Now, some of them will have died. Some of them have been married out to Boko Haram fighters. They've been shared amongst the factions. They've been shared among the factions. So I, Shekau, I have my own. You, Abanawi, you have your own. And maybe now Idris, who is the third person, has his own Chibok guests. So that when negotiations come, they all will agree, okay, I'm releasing this set of guests, you are releasing from your end too. It's painful to the family, and I can only imagine the agony that they've been going through. But her parents are really strong, especially the father, to have endured this pain for this long.
Mojid, you discovered that it's because of the popularity of the Chibok girls in terms of the international outcry that's it got this kind of publicity, and the Dapchi schoolgirls too. But terrorists abduct people every other day that we can't account for. They're in those camps all over.
Yeah, like the case.
We don't have database in Nigeria, so we don't know who is missing or.
Yeah, like the case of those university lecturers and some students. At times they make, and even the Khan reverend that was murdered. At times when they know that they hold a very highly placed individual, I mean, they come up with negotiations. On the Khan reverend, for example, I heard that they demanded 200 million, and the government and
200 million.
Yeah, and
just like that.
They were willing to pay 50 million, but they still went ahead to kill him. So you wonder the kind of hearts that these characters do have, and you know. Now what they do is with Leah Sharibu, they know that it has become a very, very sensitive issue that Nigerians, but the Nigerian government and even the parents and the Christian community wants Leah Sharibu at all costs. So that's why they are using her as a bait, quote and unquote. And at times, I mean, they flew a kite that she was dead. The last we had was that she's been married to one of the leaders, and that she has now converted to Islam, and that she has a baby boy. So all manner of information. But I expect that they want to, it's like they like keeping Nigerians and the international community guessing, because ordinarily we would have expected them to show a video of Leah Sharibu with the baby, if that is actually true. But then they also have a way of playing, they have their own strategy. So I think it behoves on our security agencies to, I mean, in collaboration with other, the neighboring countries.
Okay. Well, I'll quickly go for this break. When we come back, we'll discuss more. It's still Journalist Hangout, so please stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the final stretch of your multi-award winning program, Journalist Hangout, and we're reaching you from Lagos, Nigeria here, TVC. Now, Jide, there's this big debate over the service chiefs. I listened to my, what will I call him, Boss Mustafa, trying to justify the reason why the federal government is still holding on to the service chiefs. And a lot of Nigerians have been outcry, even the National Assembly. They've told Mr. President that, look, we can't continue to do something the same way and want to get different results. That this thing is getting out of hand. Why don't you just try fresh idea? Babajide, why do you think Mr. President is so fixated with the idea of keeping this crop of service chiefs? We are putting emphasis on individuals instead of institutions.
For me, it's difficult to explain why he's fixated with them. Yes, they've done very well. They've done very well. They've addressed a lot of the rot that they met in the system. You must give those two guys, T.Y. Burate and Sadiq Baba
Chief of Naval Staff.
Chief of Air Staff. You must give. I've said two persons.
Okay.
I don't. I'm not generous with praising people. I'm interested in two service chiefs. Those are the ones that I can defend their work if they ask me. Because I'm a man who has conscience. I can say that Burate has done well. He has changed a lot of things about the army. I'm not totally happy about the state of the insurgency, and I expect him to do a lot more. But you can't deny that he has done well within the time that he's been there. And then Sadiq Baba Abubakar the Chief of Air Staff. I keep saying it, that is the greatest Chief of Air Staff that we've had. Somebody said the other day that, oh, he's your friend. That's why you didn't suggest that he should go. It's a lie. I've always said that the service chiefs have done enough. Mr. President should call them, shake their hands, thank them, and let them go. Whether Sadiq Abubakar is someone that I like, does not mean that I will then say no, they should not go. It's about time that they left. They can't be service chiefs forever. This is a fact. If they were standing before me, I would say the same thing at the risk of being slapped. I would say the same thing. You can't be service chiefs. You know, you can't be service chiefs forever. You've done so well. One day you have to leave the place, whether the president likes it or not. One day that decision will be made. They've done well. Those two guys especially, they've done well. I'm happy with them. But it doesn't mean that they should not, the president should not replace them. I thought that because the elections were coming, he needed stability at that time. Now we are through with the election. Yeah. In fact, that is the excuse that he was giving people close to him. That's the president. That look, we can't do that. The election time is the wrong time. Now the elections are gone. We don't know why the president is lethargic about it. If some people have their way, they will want the Chief of Air Staff to remain forever, especially those who have worked with him. The way he has empowered them. We now have a woman for the first time, a female fighter pilot. But he still has to go at some point. That's the bottom line.
Mojid, on a final note, one of the best institutions we have in this country, still keeping the tradition, is the military, the armed forces. And once you place emphasis on just a man, they can produce people that are better than Burite, than Sadiq.
That's the point I wanted to make, that we shouldn't give the impression in this country that somebody is indispensable. Yeah, there are several others who can do this. Yeah. And there are extant civil service rules, which by extension also guides the military. Yes. It's either 35 years
they are public servants.
Or 60. Yeah, they are public servants. Whichever one comes first. If you have put in 35 years in the military, or you attain the age of 60,
you have to go.
You have to go.
Every time we retire policemen because
of that. Policemen are retired. So why should the military be something different? And to also show that it's a disciplined force, the president, the commander-in-chief, should act by looking for, I mean, it should give other young minds the opportunity to prove their mettle.
Thank you so much, Moji Jami MJ. Thank you, friend of the house. And Bikio, thank you for always being there. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on our platforms showing on the screen. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Bye for now. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.